Thank you for being here today and for your patience. First, I want to
Second
acknowledge...
trailer 033-1530.
Good afternoon, everyone.
033-1530.
I'm the Assistant Special
Law
Agent
RF microwave harassment detected.
Thank you for being here today and for your patience. First, I want to acknowledge the victims of today's horrific attack.
That radio
The FBI
program
and our
is
partners are working diligently
I am
to
a
investigate
tactical
behind
asset
answers
computer
on behalf
system.
of the victims, the citizens and
I
residents
am
of
listening to
Louisiana,
voice
and
comments
everyone
right
visiting
now.
the city. I'm going to provide you some facts and information about what we do know. I know that all of you
The
will have
location
questions, and
coordinates
we'll try
is
to provide
something
some
you will
answers.
have to
But
pay
this
for.
is an ongoing investigation that's rapidly evolving. So there are some questions I will be unable to answer at this time. The FBI is the lead investigative agency, and we're investigating this as an attack of
That
terrorism.
radio
along with our
program
partners.
is not in our
Today
area.
at approximately 3:15 a.m. Central Standard Time, an individual drove a pickup truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, killing at least 10 individuals and injuring dozens more. After hitting the crowd, he exited the
We
vehicle
are clear
and
from
fired upon
radio
local
units.
Law enforcement returned fire and the subject was pronounced deceased at the scene. 2 law enforcement officers were injured and transported to local hospitals. The subject has been identified as 42-year-old Samsud Dim Jabbar, a U.S.-born citizen from Texas. He was driving a Ford pickup truck, which appears to be rented, and we are working to confirm how the subject became in possession of this
We are
vehicle.
not your
An
cruisers.
ISIS flag
Radio
was
traffic.
located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential associations and affiliations with terrorist organizations. Weapons
The
and
location
potential
coordinate.
improvised explosive devices,
Okay, we
IEDs,
need
were located
fuel
in the
for
subject's vehicle.
We are
Other
not
potential
medics
IEDs
or
were also located in the
EMS1.
French Quarter. As of now, 2 IEDs have been found and rendered safe. The FBI Special Agent bomb
cannot
technicians,
control
as
heat
well
with
as our local
hashtags
law
that
enforcement
activate
partners,
radio
have been
reporting
working to determine if
transmissions.
any of these devices are viable, and they will work to render those devices safe. The FBI, we are working with our partners to investigate this as an act of terrorism. We're aggressively running down all of the leads to identify the possible subject's associates. We're working to ensure that there is no further threat. We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible. We are aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates. That's why we need the public's help.
We may have
We are
to make
asking
a
if anybody has
telephone
any
call.
interactions with Samsud Dim Jabbar in the last 72 hours
is not
that you
bloody
contact
here
us.
at my
The
current
FBI is
vector.
asking the public's help. We're asking anyone who has information, video, or pictures to provide it to the FBI. We have set up
The
a digital
location
tip line
coordinates
as well
is
as
something
our
you will
1-800
have
number,
to pay for.
1-800-CALL-FBI.
Hello, how
Please
are
provide
you?
us with any information that can assist
We
us
are
in this,
not
in this
that call.
investigation. Once again, thank you for your patience and assistance. For an updated statements or information, please check the FBI's website and our social media accounts. I will now turn over to Mayor Cantrell. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Law RF microwave harassment detected.
Thank you, Agent Duncan, for your leadership
Whatever
and the
thanks
full
for
support
nothing.
of the
Law
FBI.
RF microwave
First and
harassment
foremost,
detected.
I want to express my deepest condolences to the families and loved ones that were impacted by this tragedy on Bourbon Street and in the heart
Yes,
of the city of
strange
New
is
Orleans.
as
And I
strange
know
does.
that the entire New Orleans City Council grieves along right with me, no doubt about that, and our people and our families. My priority will
police are
continue
not
to
me,
be
are they a-
to ensure
Hello,
that
how are you?
victims that remain on Bourbon
I
Street
am
now
a tactical
will be
asset computer
serviced
system.
and removed as soon as possible. But as stated, the FBI is in charge of this investigation and are doing everything necessary to make this happen.
The location coordinates is something you will
I
have to
also
pay for.
want to acknowledge
Okay,
hearing
we
from
need fuel for
President
sustenance.
Biden, all of our federal partners, but most
We are
importantly,
not that
calling
call.
Governor Landry this morning,
See you later,
responded
Walmart.
with haste, and we do
We
say
are
thank
not
you.
that
And of
call.
course, a demonstration of a unified support is right here in this room. That's how we collectively responded to this
are not
tragedy
Heath.
in the city of New Orleans.
Yes, strange.
The mission
is
now
as
is to
strange does.
facilitate, support, and coordinate safety procedures to keep our residents and our visitors
The
safe.
police are not me, are they
I've
around
gone
right
to
now?
the hospital along with Chief Kirkpatrick to visit our police officers, and considering their injuries,
The
they're
police
doing
are
well.
not me, are they around right now?
as I mentioned, this investigation
Hello, how are
is
you?
ongoing, and the FBI remains the lead in the investigation. It is an active crime scene as well. We are committed,
Yes,
no
the
doubt, to
tactical asset
uncovering
system.
all details
That radio
surrounding
program
this
is-
tragedy.
We are not
And we're
Delta
taking
Vector
every
unit.
necessary step
Yes,
to
strange
put
is
even
as
more
strange
safety
does.
procedures in place, especially given the
The
nature
police are
of
not
the
me, are they
investigation.
around right
I'm going to
now?
ask people to do not go around our secured area if there is no essential need to do
That
so.
radio program is not
It
in our
matters,
area.
and again, it is an active crime scene. I also want
Yes,
you all
the
to know
tactical asset system
that
is
the
active.
Greater New Orleans Foundation has set up a fund to assist victims, and that information will be provided to you. Thank
The
you,
location
Ganath.
coordinates is something you will have
Again,
to pay for.
I want to thank this unified team. We're leaning in, we will be relentless, and we will do everything that it
Yes, we
takes
have
to render
many
real
wheels.
justice. This team will. I want to also
I
just
am
thank our
listening to
citizens
voice comments
for
right
your
now.
heartfelt prayers. New Orleans is a
You are
world-class
not
city,
Heath.
and I can say that I've heard from world leaders all this morning and
Yes,
up until
the
now,
tactical asset
in addition
system is
to
active.
my brother and sister mayors across this country. They're calling, they're responding, and they're standing
I am
with the city of New
listening to voice
Orleans.
com-
And what they
We are
always
not
say and
that
want me to
call.
reiterate, they understand the resilience of this community. And we're strong in that regard, and I will say second to none.
We don't care about your
So with
unit's
that,
radio
I'm going to turn
traffic.
it over
We don't
to our
want
governor.
To hear it.
And as I mentioned,
You are not
who
Heath.
has not wavered any in leaning in, providing the necessary support, and standing right here with me. And I say thank you, Governor. And I know the First Lady is standing with us as well.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you. Again, I want to thank the mayor. Since about 3:45 this morning, when she called me, we have all been working
We are not that
just
call.
around the clock to
We are
both secure
not
the
that
city,
call.
to solve this act.
It is not.
You know, again, I
bloody
want to
here
reiterate that
at
our
my-
prayers go out
I am a
with
a
all
tactical
of
asset
those who have been
computer
affected
system.
by this tragedy. I want to thank our law enforcement officers. I want to thank our medical personnel. I want to thank our first responders. And most importantly, I want to thank the two New Orleans police officers who not only laid their life on the line, but
The
were able
police
to
are not
eliminate
me, are
the
they
threat
around right
this
now?
morning. Let me say, we have made public safety a state priority from day one. And I think that if you look around me today, right now, and you look at the people who are standing around, that is their commitment as well. We intend to be
Okay,
transparent
are you
in
coming
assessing
over
any
later?
defects that may have existed in the system so that we can address them. It's the only way to ensure that any mistakes that were made are corrected. Specifically, we have been trying and working very diligently to address
are not
security
that
concerns in preparation for
I
the Super
am
Bowl
listening to
since
voice
October.
comments right now.
And it's interesting because, ironically, in preparation for the Super Bowl, I had intended to
not
issue
that call.
an emergency declaration tomorrow
We are
so that
currently
we could
following
bring
post-
all of our federal, state,
We
and
are
local
not Delta Vector units.
agencies to bear in preparation for the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras.
We are
But
not
because
under radio
of the events
control.
today,
We are
I have
not
amended
under radio
that
controls.
emergency declaration and issued it today.
I am a tactical.
So
act-
again, that declaration
We
will
are
allow
not
our
under
federal,
radio
state,
controls.
and local partners to bring all of the resources necessary
See you later, Walmart.
to get this city safe. In light of that executive
are
order,
not
I have
Heath.
also ordered the mobilization
Yes,
of a
the
military
tactical
police company.
asset system is
I've asked
active.
General Freelou to mobilize the military police company
police
to
are not me, are
assist
they around
both
right
New Orleans
now?
police and LSP
The
and
police
the
are not
FBI.
me, are they around right now?
It is important for our citizens and guests of this state
We are not the fire department.
to know that we are doing everything
I
we
am
can
a
to
tactical
secure their
asset
safety
computer
in
system.
this city. We want to make it clear,
Cheers.
the Superdome,
We are
and the
clear
surrounding
from
area is safe.
radio units.
but I've always said that the safety of this entire
That
city is
radio
something
program
that is always
not in
paramount
our area.
to me. With that,
We are
I would
not
like to
at
turn
the
it over
Vector unit.
to
We are not people on vice.
Jeff, with the Super Bowl Commissioner, Jeff Dunley.
We are currently following posted speed limit laws for this location.
Good afternoon. Obviously, we wish we weren't here for this reason today. The Sugar Bowl Committee has a 90-year history of being a good corporate citizen for the city of New Orleans, and that's why this tragedy hurts us as much as anybody right now. So our condolences,
Cheers.
thoughts, and prayers go out to the victims and their
I am
families as
listening
we
to
all work
voice
through
comments
this.
right now.
Of course, anytime we have a major event in the city of New Orleans, public safety is paramount, and we have full faith and confidence in the governor and the mayor and all the assets, the federal, state, and local resources that they've applied to this event so that we can ultimately
The police are not
bring
me,
those
are they
responsible
around
to
right
justice and carry on with
Cheers.
the major events that we have in front of us. Speaking of which, we were scheduled this evening to have a CFP quarterfinal played in the Superdome at 7:45. We have been in consultation with ESPN, with the college football playoff, with the Southeastern Conference, with the University of Georgia, with Notre Dame. All parties and all agree that it's in the best interest
We
of
are not
everybody
Adam
in public
Vector
safety
units.
that we postpone the game for 24
The
hours.
police are not
Work
me,
is
are
fast
they
about
around right
to
now?
set up a safe and efficient and fun environment for tomorrow night. There'll be more details on that in the coming hours, but
Yes,
for
we
now,
have
that's
many
the plan,
ideas.
that we're going to move forward and play the game. And again, we reiterate our thanks to everyone up here for the important work they're doing. We live in the fun and games world with what we do, but we certainly recognize the importance of this, and we're going to support it 100%. So thank you.
I'd like to bring up Senator Kennedy.
Whatever, thanks for nothing. Laura RF microwave
I wish I understood better why bad things happen to good people. If I make it to heaven, I'm going to ask.
The police are not me, are they around right now?
For those people who don't believe in objective
The
evil,
police are not me, are they? Yes, the tactical
all you have to do is
asset
look at
system
what
is
happened in our
active.
city early this morning. If this doesn't trigger the gag reflex of every American, every fair-minded American,
We are not the
I'll be
fire
very
department.
surprised.
We are not medics or
I'm here
EMS1.
because these are my people. I'm here because these are my people's friends. I'm
The
here
police
because
are not me, are they?
because there are a lot of
We are not the
Louisianians that are scared
microwave
tonight.
radio on that
I
bus.
don't want them to be. There's a lot of information going around. Some of it is actually true.
You cannot
Some of it
control
isn't.
Heath. We
The
are
federal
not that
government is now
call.
in charge of this investigation. By that, I mean the White House, the
location
FBI, the Department of
coordinates.
Homeland Security, and the
We are
Department of
not
Justice.
the microwave radio on that bus.
I have not talked to the FBI. Maybe they've talked to my staff. I don't know. I did talk to the Secretary of Homeland Security a little while ago. And I told him that with all the respect I could muster,
I am a tactical
that
asset
we
computer
expect
system.
to put the full force
I
and
am
resources
a
of the
tactical
federal
asset
government behind
computer
this
system.
investigation. Our state troopers, our local police departments, our sheriffs, we've got many sheriffs here today, have been terrific so far. The federal government is
police are
cooperating with them. I hope
We
that
are
will
not that traffic.
continue. Here's what I want to ask
Yes,
from the
I
federal
am a
government.
computer.
Catch these people. Catch these people.
The police are not me,
And then
are they?
tell the American people
The
the
police
truth.
are not
Now,
me,
I
are
don't
they
want you
around right
to
now?
tell us yet anything that's going to interfere with your investigation. And there are things that I've been told that I
RF
think are true that I'm not sharing
microwave
with you
harassment
today
detected.
because it could interfere with their investigation. But after we get to the bottom of this, they need to tell the American people the truth, and the people of New Orleans the truth, and the people of America the truth. I think the mayor and the governor are very wise to postpone this ball game for 24 hours.
We may
There's
have
just
to
too
make
much
a
stuff we don't
telephone
know,
call.
and it's
Yes, we have many
it's just not
wheels.
worth it. But
We are not under
I guess my
radio
final point
controls.
is, I will promise you this.
We may
I
have
will,
to make a telephone call.
when it is appropriate and this investigation
RF
is complete,
microwave
you
harassment
will
detected.
find out what happened and who was responsible. Or I will raise
You
fresh
are not
hell,
Heath.
and I will chase those
are not Heath.
in the federal government who are responsible for telling us what happened, like they stole Christmas.
You are not Heath.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy.
I am
Congressman Carter?
a tactical asset computer system.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Senator Kennedy. Thank you to all of our law enforcement agents for doing a yeoman's job, for stepping up at a time when we needed you most, for employing the resources of all of our partners. This is all hands on deck.
We are not that call.
From the White House
We are
all the way
not
down.
that
I've been in
call.
communication with the White House since early this morning. Secretary Mayorkas, leaders in all of our federal, local, and state agencies. The President has made it very clear that he intends to bring every resource to bear to not only tell the truth, but to provide the resources to bring these cowards to justice. I want to personally thank the men and women in uniform
I am
who put their
tactical
lives on the
asset
line
computer
to
system.
protect our citizens and our visitors. To our mayor and our governor for acting expeditiously and bringing us all together. To our sheriffs
I
from
am
the
a
surrounding areas
tactical asset
who have been
computer
Johnny on the
system.
spot, recognizing that if it happens in New Orleans, it can happen anywhere. We don't have the luxury of being myopic. In this community, we work together. We don't point fingers. We don't blame.
care about your units.
We go
radio
after the bad
traffic.
guys.
We don't want to
Let
hear
it be clear that the full faith and credit of the United States
We are
and
clear
every
from
agency
radio
therein.
units.
is on the ground, working. And for those who may have played a role in this horrific act of cowardice, we will find you. We will bring
We are
you to
not that
justice.
traffic.
New Orleans is a place that heralds its ability to protect its citizens, that heralds its ability to manage major events. Johnny on the spot, recognizing that if it happens in New Orleans, it can
You are
happen
not
anywhere.
Johnny.
We don't have the luxury of being myopic. In this community, we work together. We don't point fingers. We don't blame.
We don't care about your units.
We go after the
radio
bad guys.
traffic. We don't want
Let it
to
be
hear
clear
it.
that the full faith and credit of the United States and every
We
agency
are clear
therein
from radio units.
is on the ground, working. And for those who may have
You
played a
cannot
role
control
in
Heath with
this
hashtags
horrific
that
act
activate
of
radio
cowardice,
record. I
we will
am
find you.
a tactical
we will
asset.
bring you to
The
justice.
wind is good
New
for
Orleans is a
power
place
generation.
that heralds its ability to protect its citizens, that heralds its ability to manage major events. Super Bowls, Sugar Bowls, Mardi Gras, Jazz Fest, Essence Festival. You
We
name
are
it,
not under
no
radio
one does it better
controls.
than law enforcement in New Orleans and in the surrounding area. Kudos to those two officers who've been wounded. Our hearts
We
go
are
out
not the fire
to
department.
those who lost loved ones. Our hearts go out to those who are wounded and on the mend in the hospital. Citizens, now is the time to stay calm, to be vigilant. This is not a time to come out to
We are
sightsee.
not that call.
Listen to your federal, local, state officials.
I am listening to
Be
voice
vigilant.
com-
If you
We
saw
are
something,
not that call.
say something. If you know something, tell someone. There are tip lines, there's information available. Please, all hands on deck. Rest assured that the decision that was
location
made to
coordinates
postpone the
is
game was not
something
done
you
lightly.
will have to pay for.
It was done with one single thing in mind: public safety. Making sure that the citizens and visitors of this great city, not only for this event, but for every
Yes,
event
the
you come to
tactical
in
asset
Louisiana,
system is active.
that you will be safe. And we will use every resource possible, as the governor has said, as the mayor has said, and every law enforcement agent here has said. Our energy,
Yes,
our
we have
commitment
many wheels.
will be to make sure that you are safe.
Okay, are you
now
coming over later?
and for every event in the future. God bless you, and let's stay strong.
Thank you, Congress.
Attorney General.
I first want to extend my sincerest condolences to the families
We are
of the
not
victims.
the fire department.
Parents got a phone call last night, early this morning, that no parent ever wants to receive. And as a parent of children who come to New Orleans and spend time here, I know that that is just something that, we hold our breath sometimes till they're home safe, and some people did not
You
come home
are
safe.
not he.
And we also have some people who are fighting for their lives right now in the hospital. So I'd ask everyone to pray for them. They need our support, and they need our prayers. This was a heinous act, a heinous, cowardly act, and we will find them, and we will bring them to justice. My office will be providing both investigative and prosecutorial support
police are not
to the city
me
of
or
New
they.
Orleans, to the district attorney,
the
Jason Williams in New
tactical asset
Orleans,
system
as I
is
have done
active.
for months. We will continue to do that. We will provide the governor with whatever support that he needs, and the governor's office of Homeland Security, whatever support that they need. I'll be here to help. I will be here to stand with the city of New Orleans. We will bring them to justice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Attorney.
Thank you, Governor.
Laura R.
Thank you, Governor and Madam Mayor. For those who do not know me, my name is Ann Kirkpatrick. I'm the Chief of Police of New Orleans. My title, official title, is Superintendent, but my role is as Chief of Police. You know, you've heard some of the details today, and over the last 24 hours, we had approximately 400 officers in the French Quarter. And as we know, this is not just an act of terrorism. This is evil.
Yes, I am.
And when we face evil, we have a choice. We can run in fear,
right now,
or we can indeed stand in strength. In a time of crisis, people are looking for leadership.
Power generation.
You are looking at the leadership. And I promise you, as the Chief of Police of this city has been tried by fire before.
Right now.
But fire
We
purifies.
are not the fire department.
Fire makes
We are
things
not the fire
stronger.
department. We are not the fire
We
department.
have a plan.
Yes,
We know what to
Strange is
do.
as Strange does.
We are going to get these people.
That radio program.
There is a path forward.
The police are not
Very
me, are
pleased
they
that we
around
will
right
be back
now.
to having a wonderful game tomorrow night. New Orleans police have proven their
The
ability
police are not
to
me,
make
are
the
they
city
around right
safer.
now.
Just 2 years ago, we were the murder capital of America.
We are not the
Today,
microwave
from that
radio
time 2
on
years
that
ago,
bus.
we have driven our murder rate more than 50% down. So we have a track record. But this is different because it's
The
terrorism.
truck is fine.
Now, I want to
have-
thank all of our
I
law
am
enforcement
listening
partners.
to voice
You're
comments
fabulous,
right now.
and we appreciate the partnership. But last night, 3 of our officers engaged this
We are
terrorist
not
who
the fire
shot at them.
department.
3
I
of the
am
officers
listening to
returned
voice
fire.
comments right now.
Those officers did not run in fear.
We are not the fire department.
I liked what the mayor said this morning. New Orleans police and all law enforcement is built. We are
The
built
police are not me.
for
are
dealing
they?
with
That
evil,
radio program is not
with
in
things
our
that would
area.
cause others to be in fear, but instead our officers, and last night NOPD particular, stood strong.
We are clear
They did
from
not
radio
run.
unit.
They
Yes,
did
strange is
kill
as strange
the
does.
terrorist. We have 2 officers indeed
are
who
not
received
Keith.
gunfire. They
The
will
police
be
are not me. Are
okay.
they?
We have
We are
personally
not
gone
the
to see
fire
them.
department.
But
we
this
are
is
not
leadership
that
for
call.
you. And I promise, as the chief of police of this fantastic
RF
city,
microwave harassment.
that I will be
The police are
strong
not me. Are
and firm
yes, strange is as strange.
and fearless.
We are not the fire
Thank you.
department.
Thank you. In wrapping it up, I
Whatever,
want
thanks
to
for
just close with a couple of things. I want to thank Senator Kennedy and Congressman Carter. I want to thank again all of our law enforcement officers out there. I want the families of the victims to know that I will be issuing an executive order that tomorrow, when Notre Dame plays Georgia,
We are not
every flag,
vector
of every
units.
state building in this state is going to be at half-mast. In remembrance of them, but remembering something else.
Okay.
That fear in this state
We
is
are
alive.
not radio high now.
And these
you are
folks
on
right
point.
here are going to make sure that justice is served. And for the citizens out there that were saying, well, man, do I really want to go to the Sugar Bowl tomorrow? I tell you one thing, your governor's going to be there. That is proof, believe you me, that that facility in this city is safer today than it was yesterday. And as we come to additional events in this
That
city,
radio
I
program
know in
is
speaking
not in our area.
with Senator Kennedy and Congressman Carter and the FBI acting director and the incoming administration, that they are going to ensure that this city has the resources necessary
not the
to
fire
protect our
department.
citizens and our guests. And so with that,
Yes, the
We'll take some
tactical
questions.
asset
All right,
system.
if you could, we'll start
Below,
over here
how
with CBS.
are you?
Katie, we'll work our way across the room. If I miss you, just give me a holler. I may not see you. Go ahead, Katie.
Thank you, sir. Katie Royce with CBS News. I mean, I think this has been a really tough day for a lot of people, but at this point, we're hearing that the death toll, according to some
We are
FBI
not
sources,
radio
is
high now. You
15.
are
Is
on
this true?
point.
who wants to answer that? Yeah.
I can speak to it,
You-
because unless you have a final number. We do not have a final number. We know that we have confirmed 10, but we did have
We are not
people
the
who
fire
had
department.
been transported who were in critical condition. And so
We
I
are
do
not
not know
that
that, but I
call.
can confirm 10.
And one quick follow-up question, if I may. We know that there have been some local records in Texas about a misdemeanor background on this suspect. Any signs or warnings ahead of time about this person or their plans for what happened this morning?
Because that is the investigation part, I will give the FBI.
At this time, we cannot go into details about the subject's history. What I can tell you, the person was an Army veteran. We believe he was honorary discharge, but we're working through this process, figuring out all this
are
information.
not Charlie
The goal with the
Vector
FBI is
units.
providing you with the most accurate
The
and complete
location,
information.
coordinates,
So once
is
that
something
information is
you will
confirmed, we'll
have
make
to
sure we
pay
push that
for.
out. Thank you.
Ariel.
The location, coordinates, low RF microwave harassment detected.
At this time, I can't go into details about all the victims. We want to make sure that first that the family is notified appropriately before we put any information out there. So once the families are all
We are
notified,
not
then we'll
that
go ahead and
repeaters,
release a statement to
radio
everyone.
traffic.
And I would ask the press, in relation to the victims and those that are in hospitals, if we could just refrain from worrying about them so their loved ones can take care of them, and the medical personnel that are trying to get them out of the hospital can do so. And as information becomes available, but we want to respect the privacy of those who are still either fighting for their lives or
I am a tactical
or,
asset
being
computer
cared for.
system.
Thank you.
A follow-up, if I may.
Go ahead.
You guys mentioned accomplices. You don't think that the suspect acted alone. about how many more suspects?
It's a range of suspects, and right now with the FBI, we do not run a rule anything else, so that's why we're asking if anyone has had any interaction with the deceased subject Jabbar in the last 72 hours, provide us with this information. You can provide us that information through 1-800-CALL-FBI or our digital tips line, which is available on our social media website, as well as the big FBI website.
Can I say something right quick? Tell me who you're with. WDSU. Okay, and CBS.
NBC's over here on the right.
It is not bloody
That's
here
unusual
at my
position.
current vector.
I don't get it.
You wouldn't. Look, the FBI is not going to be able to answer those questions, okay? They will eventually, I promise you, okay? Once the FBI has a chance to investigate all this, along working with state police, working with Homeland Security, working with the city of New Orleans, they're going to tell you what happened.
Right
I can promise you that, or I'm going to raise fresh hell. But right now, they're in the process of trying to catch the other bad guys. And I want to give them the benefit of the doubt for a while.
26.
Yeah, I had a question about the victims. I know that there was obviously gunfire exchange, so I guess how many victims were shot and then how many were injured?
Look, again, let me reiterate both Special Agent Duncan and Senator Kennedy. There's a lot of, I get that y'all want to know
We are not
minute
that
details.
repeaters, radio track.
What we don't want to do is impede this
We are not
investigation
Delta
or
Vector
spend any
units.
time talking about things
The
that don't get us
location
closer
coordinates
to hunting these
is
folks
something
down
you will
and
have
securing
to
the
pay
city.
for.
And so at a particular point in time, we will release as much information as we can. But at this time, in relation to the investigation, I would ask y'all to refrain from those.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if we're going to just have more of the same, as the governor just said, we're going to provide that information, but we're going to wrap the press conference now. One second, hold on, let me finish.
Johnny on the spot, recognizing that
If all of the questions are more of the same, what the
I
governor
am
just said,
a tactical asset computer system.
if you have a quick,
You
different
know, a
question.
Coleman cooler was found down
You
there
are not
smashed,
Johnny.
run over by a lawnmower and property next to Marina del Sol after the bombing in McCadam,
Ma'am,
which was
hold on.
at least 2 years ago.
is on the ground. And for those who may have played a role in this horrific act,
Well, like, why would we tell you that? Again, that's, I mean, look, again, we want to answer pertinent questions. But anything that would lead to impeding or endangering this investigation is not going to be said, okay? And we will, as information unfolds, this is a very fluid process. And remember something too, we're doing two things. We're hunting some bad people down, and we're securing the city.
Supposedly I'm
too, getting ready
addicted
for
to
Sugar
Ford
Bowl
driving a
tomorrow.
Ford truck too.
So
with a
if y'all would,
hydrogen
again,
generator in it.
if you have questions regarding Sugar Bowl, the safety of the city,
And
or
an
something to that
asshole
effect,
attack.
we're happy to answer. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, let's hear the asshole tag. What's it say?
We are not that call. Lore RF micro
Asshole tag's right.
detected.
We're not that call.
I am listening to voice copy. We are not that call.
if you know something,
We are not the microwave
Well, let me tell you,
radio
yeah,
on that
one,
bus.
I'm going to let the mayor
That's
answer.
what
I
they
want you to know
use
that's
to
one of the
target
first things I
treat
thought
them
of
like
this morning
terrorists.
rest assured.
when the mayor
Especially
called.
if you know law enforcement.
Okay.
Corpus
And,
Christi.
and I will tell you,
Yeah, we mentioned
that
North
whatever the
Carolina
problem
law
was,
enforcement pay for that.
it's going to be solved.
Oh.
Visitors of this great city, not only for this event.
Lore RF.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you for the question. I do understand that it's been on your radar since this morning. As it relates to the bollards on
We are
Bourbon
not
Street,
Adam Vector
over
units.
10 years ago, excuse me, okay, over 10 years ago, the city of New Orleans implemented an infrastructure project placing bollards on Bourbon Street. Shortly thereafter, the malfunctions of those
Well,
bollards
if they would have
ensued
investigated the catamaran pipe
from
bombing
Mardi Gras beads
2 years
on
ago
down.
with the
But the New Orleans Police Department, of
evidence I
course,
collected,
deemed them inefficient
the Coleman
because they
Cooler
did
Boy,
not operate the way that they were intended to
the
do.
shit in Louisiana probably
Because the
wouldn't have
city of
happened.
New Orleans is hosting Super
Go
Bowl
fucking
this year, it gave the city of New Orleans an opportunity to go further and deeper with infrastructure improvements, as we've been talking about. So as a result of that, we were able to build in bollard replacement into our Super Bowl infrastructure package. And because of that, the city of New Orleans has moved forward with that infrastructure that is nearing completion.
And a destination.
Bollards were not
We are
up
clear from
because
the cost.
they are near completion, with the expectation of being
We are
completed,
clear
of
from the
course,
cost.
by Super Bowl, way
Yes,
before
I am
Super
a
Bowl.
computer.
But that is the
We are
reason.
not the
Now,
fire department.
the New Orleans Police Department and Chief, you can speak to the deployment as
The
a
police are
to
not me, are they
respond to
around
our
right
needs
now?
and existing conditions.
All right, so we have been aware of the
I
bollard
am
situation
listening
for a
to
long
voice
time.
comments
And
right
we did
now.
indeed harden those target areas where the bollards are. We have patrol cars out there as a hard target, as well as with barriers. Now, I want to share with y'all, if you did not know, that this particular terrorist drove around onto the
We are
sidewalk
clear from radio
and got
units.
around the hard target, where he did have a car there.
You
We had
cannot
barriers
control
there. We
heat.
had officers there, and
Yes,
they
we
still
have
got
many
around.
wheels.
Now, the
We are not
wedges
Charlie
that
Vector
you see
units.
out there as well, we knew that
You
had
cannot
malfunction
control
problems.
heat with
And I want you
hashtags
to
that
understand.
activate
Let's say we
radio
put the
recording
wedge up
transmissions.
and it got stuck. There is no way that ambulance could get in or out. People
I
couldn't
am
get in and
a
out.
tactical
So we
asset
knew
computer
that these were
system.
malfunctioned. So we did indeed have a plan, but the terrorist defeated it.
Yeah, let me just say this. We recognize we got a problem right here, right? We're going to fix it. It is going to be a top priority as we go into the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras. And the solution that we're going to come up with is going to be a permanent one.
You are.
It's going to be placed into
We are not
the standard
your
operating
cruisers,
procedure
radio
of
traffic.
having major events and securing that quarter.
A follow-up, if I may, obviously, Super Bowl postponed until tomorrow, but I'm sure after that game, a lot of people are going to want to celebrate. Are there plans to keep Bourbon Street closed? What does that look like?
So right now, Bourbon Street is an active crime scene.
Solar is great
And
for
the
power.
FBI is in charge
Yes,
of it.
the tactical
When they
asset
clear it-
system is active.
And it does not become an active crime scene anymore.
We are clear.
We're gonna
from
open it up.
radio unit. Yes, the tactical asset
Potentially.
system is active.
Can we ask about this military police presence that you want to call it? Is this a private security like Blackwater? Also, would that be a first that a private security firm is mobilized to supplement local and state law enforcement?
No. We're not. This is our National Guard. These are our citizens that we bring it in. It's a military police company that we recognize we need some more resources. We need some more boots on the ground because, again, what we're doing now is twofold.
The
We've got an
police
active
are not
investigation,
me, are they around right
and we've got
now?
enhanced security.
Yes, the
Before this
tactical
event,
asset.
we were just
We
enhancing
may
and working
have
on
to
security.
make a telephone
So we
call.
brought some additional resources.
Jesse Kirsch with NBC News. Thank you for holding this press briefing. I just want to clarify something first. You were just talking about bollards that are being repaired, talk about a lift gate that are replaced and then a lift gate that's not been working. Was there a vehicle in place of that lift gate last night? Were there things in place of those bollards which are being repaired?
Sure, the chief
The
spoke
answer,
to the
yes.
plan in place, and that is yes.
That was indeed.
So
And
anything that is currently in the midst of being repaired had a backup replacement?
it had vehicles and officers were there where all of those ballasts have been. We had that. We knew.
Yes,
so
we
we
have
did have it.
many
And like I
wheels.
said, in this particular case, terrorists just went all the way around up onto the sidewalk.
We are not
And-
dispatch
and-
radio traffic.
Was there a vehicle like backing in and out to block that lift gate area, or was that just down and open? 'Cause that's what we've heard from witnesses.
That
Chief,
radio
Captain.
program is not in our area.
The reason I'm calling the captain, he's the captain over that district, and that is a question I'm going to let him address for you.
Good evening,
The
everybody. I'm
location
Captain LeJean
ordinance
Roberts of
is
the 8th
something
District.
you will
Yes,
have
we
to
did
pay
have a
for.
vehicle strategically placed right in front of the wedge, preventing access onto the roadway.
And in terms of the framework of security that was already in place on Bourbon Street, I know this is an ongoing project of improvement, but with how that was all aligned, was someone getting up on a sidewalk considered impossible or nearly impossible, or was this not something you expected you would have to account for?
If, of course, it wasn't something we expected to account for. The bollards they're actually wedges. They're strategically placed 5 locations throughout
We
the
are
French
not
Quarter
that call.
on the roadway. This
The location
particular
coordinates
terrorist drove onto the
We are not
sidewalk
at 'em
behind the
vetting
police
units.
car to gain access to the 100 block of Bourbon Street.
So if you're worried about someone
The
ever
police
driving
are not
down
me,
Bourbon
are
Street,
they
why
around
weren't
right
you
now?
worried about someone driving up the sidewalk in the same way, or at least bracing for it the same way? for all
Okay.
of us?
All right, look. We could go on what ifs forever.
We
This
are
is
not
evil.
that call.
And that guy could have easily gone down the sidewalk
I
of
am
Canal
a
Street,
tactical asset.
where there were a
computer
ton of
system.
pedestrians on there as well. And they are.
Yes,
That's right.
strange
They're right.
is as strange does.
But just want you to know,
We are not
however,
the microwave.
we recognize, I said
Law
earlier,
RF microwave
that where there
harassment
are
detected.
defects in this system, we are going to be transparent,
We are not
and we are going to
Vector
address them
unit.
with the city and make sure that we fill those gaps as best we can. Yeah.
I am a tactical act.
I have a question just about.
We are
some
not
ongoing
the
public safety
microwave
today,
radio
especially
on
in
that
addition
bus.
to possible IEDs. Were those in the same location? Should residents in the French Quarter or elsewhere be concerned about potential other situations?
The 2 IEDs, they were in different locations, and what we've done in conjunction with our local and state partners, we've gone through and done a sweep to identify anything that we thought was suspicious, and we have not. However, as I said before, if the public sees something, please reach out
The
to us. That way we can go
location
through and verify that we did not miss
LRF
anything. But we
microwave
conducted initial
harassment
sweeps,
detected.
I think, starting shortly after our initial
Yes, I'm going to thank you,
press conference.
Agent. I do want to share that we have a plan, and we have been implementing that plan. One of those plans is that we have swept all of these areas. The word swept means we have put officers
That
out there
radio
as a
program
grid,
is
walking
not-
down the
The
streets,
police are
every
not me,
street
are they
in the
around
French
right
Quarter,
now?
looking for suspicious packages, bags,
We are
ice
not
chests,
the
you name it.
microwave
And they have
radio
been
on
walking
that
it
bus.
as a grid. We've been doing the same thing on Poydras and all the accesses into the Superdome. Part of the safety plan is we have bomb dogs out there sweeping the Superdome and all the exterior area, and we're locking that down. That will be locked down through the game tomorrow.
The
So that's a
location
part of that
coordinates is
safety
something
plan,
you will
and we've
have to
already
pay
been
for.
implementing it.
Okay, thank you all for
Yep.
coming out.
Question back here for the governor on the MPs. How many MPs will be deployed to New Orleans?
Right now, there's I think it's a General Freelo 100.
100.
100, and, yeah. All right, thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
What gives you the confidence
We are
tomorrow
not
night it'll
that
be safe
call.
to-
I'm going to be there.
Me too.
You're all saying you're making conservative-
Yeah, we're gonna be there.
On the glittering streets of Las Vegas, ruthless gunmen overpower defenseless victims and haul away a motherload of cash. Following a trail from exotic dance clubs to the tranquil suburbs, authorities finally put down the reckless robbers. But a daring jailbreak leads the FBI to a violent showdown with a man so desperate that he'll risk his own family to get what he wants.
LOR RF microwave harassment detected.
Okay, go ahead.
10-4. They said you were coming to Draper Street. 10-4.
631, what was your location?
Please come in, team. Do you have a need for another unit in there? 1150, Clear Creek, 10-4. Dispatch, medic 91. Medic 91. Receive. One 84. Responsible for
Yeah. Anyone say?
4-4.
320 status check.
I'll be back down to 4109. 8120, go ahead. 4911, clear.
So the call for Riverview Apartments. I don't know if that's
321, I'll be clear.
New Orleans is a place that heralds its ability to protect its citizens, that heralds its ability to manage major events. Johnny on the spot, recognizing that if it happens in New Orleans, it can happen anywhere. We don't have the luxury of being myopic. In this community, we work together.
You know, Coleman Cooler was found down there smashed, run over by a lawnmower on the property next to Marina del Sol after the bombing of McCadamaran. This was
And every agency that
at least 2 years ago.
is on the ground, working. And for those who may have played a role in this horrific act of cowardice, we will find you. We will bring you to justice. New Orleans is a place that heralds its ability to protect its citizens, that heralds its ability to manage major events. Super Bowls, Sugar Bowls, Mardi Gras, Jazz Fest, Essence Festival.
Drink me some
You name
American
it,
tea.
No one does it better than law enforcement in New Orleans and in the surrounding area. Kudos to those two officers who've been
Supposedly I'm a dickhead Ford for driving a Ford truck too with a hydrogen generator in it.
Our hearts go out to those who are wounded
And an asshole attack.
on the men in the hospital. Citizens,
Oh, let's hear the asshole attack.
to be vigilant.
What's it say?
This is not a time to come out to sites.
We are not that call.
Listen to
Oh, asshole attack's right.
state officials.
We're not that call.
I am listening
Be
to
vigilant.
voice
If
call.
you saw
We
something,
are not that call.
say something. If you know something, tell someone. There are tip lines, there's
Right.
information available.
That's what they use to target everybody and treat them like terrorists.
Rest assured that
Especially if you know law
decision-making
enforcement's dirty in Corpus
responsibility
Christi.
is something like
You will have to pay.
It was done with one single
Oh.
thing in mind.
Yeah, we mentioned Noise County law enforcement.
Making
Let's
sure
pay for
that the
that.
citizens
Oh.
and visitors of this great city, not only for this event, but for every event
Yes,
you
the
come to
tactical
in Louisiana,
asset system is active.
that you will be safe. And we will use every resource possible. As the governor has said, as the mayor has said, and every law enforcement agent here has said. Our energy, our
Yes, we
commitment
have many
will be to make
wheels.
sure that you are safe.
Okay, are
Now
you coming over
and for
later?
every event in the future. God bless you, and let's stay strong.
Well, if they would have investigated the Catamaran pipe bombing
First
2 years ago
extend my
with the
sincerest condolences to the families
evidence I collected,
of the victims.
you know, their Coleman Cooler boy,
This morning, early this morning, that
the shit in Louisiana probably wouldn't have happened.
and as a parent,
Go
of parent
fucking
children
figure.
who come to New Orleans and spend time here, I know that that is just something that we hold our breath sometimes till they're home safe, and some people did not come home
You
safe.
are not
And we
here.
also have some people who are fighting for their lives right now in the hospital. So I'd ask everyone to pray for them. They need our support and they need our prayers. This was a heinous act,
Yeah.
a heinous, cowardly act.
This is
And
how
we
they
will
usually
find
treat
them,
me
and we
for
will
being a
bring
victim
them
of
to justice.
terrorism.
My office will be providing both investigative and prosecutorial
The
support
police are
to the
not
city of
me,
New
are they?
Orleans, to the district attorney,
Yes,
Jason
the
Williams in New
tactical
Orleans,
asset
as I
system
have
is
done
active.
for months. We will continue to do that. We will provide the governor with whatever support that he needs.
Moron.
And the office of the governor's office of Homeland Security.
Oh, I
whatever
know why they
support
say that. 'cause
they
they,
need.
they use this
I'll be here to help. I'll be
fake
here to stand
domestic
with the city of
terrorism
New Orleans.
investigation
We
shit
will bring them to
that target
justice.
me and steal intellectual property, shit on me for corrupt law enforcement, conduct other illegal activities here in Nueces County.
Madam Mayor, for those who do not
Laura
know me,
R.F. microwave
my name is Ann
harassment
Kirkpatrick. I'm the Chief of Police of New Orleans. My title officially.
Sounds like they use it to conduct acts of domestic terrorism too.
Chief of Police.
Go figure.
I
You've
am
heard some of the
listening to
details
voice comments
today,
right now.
and over the last 24 hours, we've had approximately 400 officers in the French Quarter.
We
And
are
as
not
we
the
know,
fire
Yeah, when I talk, I need to be called a dickhead,
We
huh?
are not the fire
of
department.
terrorism. This is evil.
Yes, I
And when
am a
we face
computer.
evil, we
I
have a
am
choice. We
listening
can
to
run in
voice
fear,
comments right now.
or we can indeed stand in strength. In a time of crisis, people are
Oh, they got
looking
Mike
to you.
Merkel under investigation.
You are looking at the leadership.
Does he like getting treated like Johnny
And I
and shit?
promised you, as the chief of police
Cheers.
of this city, This city has been tried by fire before.
She sounds like the bitch from Gang System.
But fire purifies.
Did you say I was American Ultra movie? Got to be a satellite slave. I already remember that one. Kremlin bled that dry.
Yes,
We know what to
strange
do.
is as strange does.
We are going to get these people.
That radio
There is a
program
path
is.
forward.
The police are
Very
not
pleased
are
that
they
we will
around
be
right
back
now.
to having a wonderful game tomorrow. New Orleans police have proven their
The
ability
police are
to
not
make the
are
city
they around
safer.
right now.
Am I convinced? Fuck no. Fuck
We
no.
were the murder capital
Especially
of
not when the
America.
terrorists ran over almost 50 people right in front of a law enforcement asshole in a white Ford
Murder rate
Explorer.
more than 50% down. So we have a track record.
They've never conducted
But
actual
this is different.
terrorist investigations
Terrorism.
The truck
that, you
is
know,
back
after
and has.
Thank all of our law
I am
enforcement
listening.
36, 37 FBI
We
tips,
appreciate the
complaints
partnership.
about this shit.
But last night,
It's getting fixed.
3 of our officers engaged this terrorist
We are
who
not the
shot
fire
at them.
department.
3 of
I'm
our
sitting here
officers-
like, hey, I told you so.
Comments right now.
Those officers did not run in fear.
We are not the fire
I
department.
like what the mayor said this morning. New Orleans police and all law enforcement is built. We are built.
The police are not
for
me, are they?
dealing
That radio program is not in our area.
causes others to be in fear, but instead, our officers, last night,
Yeah, I guess
NOPD in particular, stood strong.
We are here from Radio U.
They did.
Yes, strange is
kill
as
the
strange does.
We have 2 officers indeed
You are
who
not
received
Heath.
gunfire. They will
The police
be
are not me, are
okay.
they?
We have personally
We are
gone
not
to
the
see
fire department.
But this
We
is
are
leadership
not that
for you.
call.
And I promise, as the chief of police of this fantastic
Lore
city,
RF microwave harass.
that I will be
The
strong
police are not me, are.
and firm
Yes, strange is as
and
strange.
fearless.
We are not the fire
Thank you.
department.
Thank you. And wrapping up, I
Whatever,
wanna
thanks for
just close with
nothing.
A couple of things. I want to thank Senator Kennedy and Congressman Carter. I want to thank again all of our law enforcement officers out there. I want the families of the victims to know that I will be issuing an executive order that tomorrow, when Notre Dame plays Georgia,
We are not Adam Vetter units.
and this state is going to be at half-mast. In remembrance of them, but remembering something else.
Okay,
Fear, and this state is
we are not Radio High now.
These
You
folks
are
right
on
here
point.
are going to make sure that justice is served. And for the citizens out there that are thinking, well, man, do I really want to go to the Sugar Bowl anymore? I tell you one thing, your governor's going. That is proof, believe you me, that that facility in this city is safer today than it was yesterday. And we are, and as we come to additional events in this city,
That radio
I know it's
program
looking-
is not in our
Senator
area.
Kennedy and Congressman Carter, and FBI, acting director, and the incoming administration, that they are going to ensure that this city has the resources necessary.
We are not
to
the
protect
fire
our citizens
department.
and our guests. And so with that,
Yes, the tactical asset system. Hello, how are you?
25 Site Deputy, not EMS.